Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Radical Sim Racing World Series, round number 4 here in Bathurst. We are with the Group America Series. We have the Pro and Am drivers on track right now, just finishing up their qualifying sessions. And going into round number 4, we've had some crazy finishes the first 3 races, and the championship is really starting to heat up, and battles all over on the grid. So let's take a look at our pro. At the moment, Greg Seitz and Lucas Vieira are tied for first place, just as they were last week with 205 points now. So they're still going to be battling closely. We're going to be watching those battles very, very close. And then we also have another battle, 3 points separating Juan Moncada and Diego Zuccarelli for 4th and 5th position on the pro grid. So keep an eye out on those drivers as well as we head over to the AMs. Richard Hearn way out in front, Emmanuel Salzarno. And he is in a close battle with Krasick and Reagan behind him. And then, obviously, 6th, 7th, and 8th, all very, very close as well with Jacqueline Price and Henry. So these drivers really, really duking it out. We've got a few more races left to go. Halfway through the season, they've really got to start making some moves if they want to get themselves a little bit further up. And if we're going to look at the drivers or the team championships, On Wheels TV race team is out front, but Russ Racing is moving. And looking for a rebound from last week as they had a little bit of problems and couldn't get up front. But, hey, they got a chance. We got 3 more races left. And right now we have a race for the underdog to be able to take it all. We are at Mount Panorama here in Australia. And anything can happen here. You cannot make a mistake. You have to be on your game 100% of the time. And we got a 30-minute race, so it's all about attrition. You got to make sure you keep the car on track, you go as fast as you can, and you avoid the incidents from people in some of these blind corners, because you can really get yourself caught up in a rough spot if you don't pay attention. So without further ado, these guys got about 3 minutes left in practice. Greg Seitz at the moment has got himself on top of the charts. And Vieira very closely behind him, only 1/10 behind. So Seitz gonna try to set it on fire with Russ Racing. And Gevorgian, his teammate, is currently 3rd place on the board, not far behind Vieira. This battle really could heat up with these 2 Russ Racing guys all the way up here. Mateus Marias, the other On Wheels TV driver, is 6th place right now. Those 2 currently competing for the top spot in the Constructors Championship. So we're going to have to see if Marias can do something in this race here to help get some more team points, with Gevorgian and Seitz being as quick as they are here. 2 minutes left in practice before we let these guys go qualifying. And then get to a 30-minute race here on the mountain, which I am super excited to see. This is my first time at this racetrack, and it is going to be very excited to call this race with you guys. I am Rob Sluiter. We are here with JP Broadcasting live on YouTube. Thanks for coming out. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and a bell for notifications so you know of all of our live streams. And make sure you talk to us in the chat here. Let us know who you think's going to take the win here, who's your favorite driver, and what's your favorite track here on the schedule of the 6 races that we have. Vieira out on track. He's really trying. Oh, now he's pulling in. It looks like he's getting that car back on the pit lane. So there's just a few more minutes. 1 minute left in practice. So these guys trying to find everything they can in their car to get ready for qualifying. Maybe find a better braking zone somewhere to try to get a better exit. Maybe trying a different line through a corner because they keep going off track. Riding right now is Salazano in the number 12 machine. He's currently 7th on the board. had a great run last week and took the win in the AM division. And I'm sure he's looking for another good one today. Richard Hearn, he's got himself pretty quick. He's 4th quick overall, but leading the AM division right now. So Hearn back on top of his game. Not sure exactly what happened last week, but he was struggling a little bit, and Solorzano got to be able to take advantage of that. But Hearn back up there battling with Gevorgian and Moncada. So we'll see if he can keep it up during the race. It'd be really awesome to see one of these AMS guys come and take a win from the pro guys. But that's going to be the end of practice. We're going to get ready and go see if we can see a lap around Greg Seitz with this track. He was so fast in that practice session. He was over a 10th faster than everybody else on the track, and then everybody else was more hundredths in between each other. So we'll see if we can catch him getting on track, and we'll take a ride around Mount Panorama, or Bathurst as it's more formally called.
It is Bathurst, my friend. Hello, hello. Didn't mean to sneak in on you, but you were in my backyard, of course, in New South Wales, Australia.
Yeah, and look at that. I am joined in the booth by the one and only Dean Biggles. Biggles, how you doing tonight?
Mate, good. Got some kangaroo fired up on the barbecue and the mountain. Well, it can be your friend and it can be your enemy. As you saw during this one. You got pro and AM class, as you mentioned, the qualifying. It's coming up soon, so the practice session's all done and dusted. Do you see any major incidents? Does that make their way up and down the mountain?
I haven't seen any quite yet. Everybody seems like they're making it fairly clean. But it's been a long practice, and we've only caught a short glimpse of it.
I'm still trying to get into the session at the moment. So, yeah, of course, I'm just getting my security pass in there. It says, yes, I'm from Australia. And if you are from Australia, and what a place to be in Australia right now, well, in our time zone, of course, but happy Australia Day. It's now Australia Day +1 if you're in Australia, but if you're here in the Americas, it is Australia Day, the 26th of January. We declared our independence from the British Empire on this very day. It's our 4th of July, essentially, put it that way.
It's a pretty cool special weekend to be here. And now we take a look. Greg Seitz coming across the start-finish line. So here we go. A lap around Bathurst with your currently tied for the points leader, Greg Seitz.
Yeah, you gotta do this one.
This is, like I said, this is my first time here, but it looks like we've got some pretty long straights and some really tight corners. So you're going to have to use both disciplines of your racing, your draft and making sure that you keep as fast as you can off them exits. Just like when you're at Monza, you really have to make sure you get on the gas right when you can, because those straights are so long, it's going to mean everything. And you also have to make sure that you don't overdrive yourself in these really tight technical sections, because as you can see here with Greg Seitz going through some of the tight technical right now, the walls are really, really close and the margins for error are extremely small. So it's going to be a very tight race. I have to imagine with it being this close, it may be fairly hard to pass, and with these long straightaways and these tight corners, we may see some braking zone try to pass us. And that's where the excitement's really going to come in, because trying to see someone outbrake someone else is already exciting, and watching them pull it off is even more. So 30 minutes coming to you here. It looks like Seitz has gotten through the most technical section, now coming down the longest straight here in the race.
Yeah, this is called the Conrod Straight, where you just go flat over a hill. There's a couple of accidents earlier here on James's network broadcasting down there. Massive smash coming in here. A little bit of a kink in there. That's called the chase. You're chasing in somebody out, and you're chasing somebody out. It's almost like the mailman being chased by one of the puppies that are in there. Didn't like that one. And the final call of Murray's Corner. This will be hooking it all up right, and then a short straight away, the pit straight entrance, and then it'll be a lap around Bathurst.
Greg Seitz going to be the first one to put a lap down. 157.778. See what the rest of the field can do. Zuccarelli puts it in second right now with a 158.974. Almost a full second off of Seitz. Shows you how fast Seitz is really pushing his car around here. There we see Diego Zuccarelli currently in second.
Obviously loving the mountain, and it's a good thing to love the mountain. That's a pretty quick time. You're going to see a little bit more of a spread because it's such a technical track. And I tell you what, it's hopefully at some point we're going to get some rain to iRacing, because that's where it's really going to be spicing up, because the V8 supercars, generally Australian touring cars, the V8 supercars, are the ones that have to navigate up and down the mountain. And this is like this is the track that everybody wants to win in Australia. And of course, if you do come visit Australia, this is the track that you want to be conquering. And conquering in a radical car is just something else as well. And as I said, rolling back to that excitement earlier on this broadcasting network, you would have saw these very radical cars in the different series make their way up and down the mountain. And trust me, that was very, very entertaining. And that was how the Americas division can handle it.
And we see the board heating up. Seitz puts a 156.959. That's going to be his fastest lap. And Gevorgian moves up to second quick with a 158.153. Seitz absolutely flying. And we have not seen. There it is. Vieira puts a 157.637 down. Can he put a faster lap on his second lap? He's still almost a second off of Seitz's pace. 7/10 off. It's going to take quite a bit to catch up to him. But those Rust Racing guys are really, really fast here this weekend.
Good to see. You want to be quick. I'm still going to try and see if I can join the session as well, too. Trying to be a spotter as well, too, for you. Handling all the fantastic camera work and commentating. Thank you very much, Rob. Good to have you. Well, you're back, of course, doing a fantastic job, as always.
And it's always great to have you up here in the booth with me and sharing the excitement that these cars bring. These radical SR10s and these drivers driving them, they really can move and get through, like you see them getting through these down the mountain. They're just so quick through these tight corners. You think they got to go slow, and they just move, almost taking flight. And these drivers keep them so composed. We haven't seen a driver go spinning or nothing yet. That kind of changes when you get 10 of them together. But these drivers doing a great job putting these speeds down. 189, 185, 187 miles an hour around this racetrack. These guys are really moving. And we're about to witness an awesome show. Can Vieira take that top spot? He's got to pick up 7/10. He's about to come through that last corner. Is he going to be able to take the pole, or is he going to settle for second place? As he comes across the stripe, he does. He takes the pole with a 156.522. Great lap for Lucas Vieira and the On Wheels TV race team.
By half a second. That's a statement. Conquering the mountain in New South Wales, Australia. Hey, welcome to the Outback. Welcome to motor racing for the Radical World Series.
What a drive. 2 minutes go by, and Vieira comes and takes it with a storm. There's still 1 minute and 15 seconds left here. Seitz could come back, but his last lap was slower. It wasn't his fastest lap. And yeah, he's got to pick up 0.4 of a second. I don't really see it happening. Vieira hit 189 miles an hour, and that's the exact thing what I was talking about with these long straightaways. You have to be on the gas pedal as much as you can, as fast as you can, coming out of these corners. Because if you don't, you're not going to have that speed coming down that straightaway, that long straightaway, all that little bit of speed you can gain, all them RPMs you can gain 20, 30 feet sooner getting on that throttle really make a difference. As you see, he's going 4 to 5 miles an hour faster than the entire field. Pretty incredible. Richard Hearn currently reading the AMs. He's currently 5th overall with a 158.229. And Solorzano is 2nd place in the AMs, in 8th place with a 159.255. So 1 second off, and that is going to call it for qualifying. Lucas Vieira going to take the pole with Greg Seitz starting to his outside. Stephen Place taking 3rd place with Team Radline. And Horvanis Gevorgian, that other Russ Racing car, are going to be starting in 4th. So those two really going to be out front. I'm guessing that this track is going to be a track position track. So we'll have to see if that's the case. Richard Hearn going to take the pole for the AMs. He's going to start 5th overall. Diego Zuccarelli going to start 6th. Mateus Marias 7th. Juan Moncada 8th. Manuel Solorzano is going to start 9th. And Christopher Reagan in the Elite S Racing team rounds out your top 10. Antonio Alvarez is going to start 11th. David Graybill 12th. Joel Jacklin 13th. Richard Price 14th. Charles Krasick down in 15th. Tyler Brown 16th. And Torsten Lawson is going to round out your field of cars tonight. 30 minutes going to be the race distance. No cautions. They do not need to make a pit stop. And Lucas Vieira with a blistering pace going to set right there on the pole. We've seen 2 different things happen with Seitz and Vieira. Either Vieira gets a great start and Seitz doesn't, or Seitz gets a great start and Vieira doesn't. We haven't seen both of them get a great start and start battling into turn number 1. So we'll see. Is that going to happen today? What do you think, Biggles? Lights are about to come on. We're about to go racing.
One. Yeah, you're going to have to call this one for a second. I'm going to just follow what you're watching.
Lights are out.
Well, you'll see.
And they both get a great start. Vieira and Seitz going into turn 1. Vieira's going to get the whole shot by about 2 car lengths. As we get back, we're already mostly single file. Single file all the way back. Christopher Reagan trying to make a move on Juan Moncada. Don't think he's going to be able to make that move happen. So he's going to fall back in the line. Stephen Place in 3rd. Richard Hearn right on his tail. Like I said, it's going to be very, very difficult to pass here at Bathurst. It's going to take a good braking distance to be able to get someone to be able to outbrake you, but you got to be close enough to get to there. You see a little bit of smoke there. Someone's locking it up already. Arias all over the tail of Richard Hearn. And Hearn trying to make a move on Place at the moment. Lucas Vieira out to a half a second lead over Greg Seitz at the moment. And Seitz starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Is he getting a little bit of a waft from the long straightaway? I believe so. Is he going to try to make a move for the lead? No, he's going to stick right inside and try to keep that speed right close with him and set him up. We'll see if he can make anything happen there. A little bit going on. It looks like Alvarez is having an issue, maybe an off track for Alvarez. And he's fallen back multiple positions, now down 5 positions from where he started. Oh, and Marias is spinning around. We just missed that incident. Where... Whoa, we'll have to take a look quick. But actually, we have got a battle up for the lead. Sights right on Vieira's tail. Not letting him get anywhere whatsoever. Rest of the field staying fairly spread out. Alvarez trying to make a move back up as we saw him have some issues. I don't see any damage on Alvarez's car. That's going to tell me that he's not going to be able to continue, or that he may have to hit the pits. So I'm guessing he may have just went off track, overdrove a corner just a little bit, and got lucky that he didn't get into the... Oh, and he almost gets into the wall there. He might have touched that wall. Alvarez going to really have to watch out and be careful going a little forward. We're not that far into the race. 3 minutes into the race. Everybody is basically single file. No one's really battling anybody. I think we've got such a long race ahead of us that nobody really wants to get too aggressive quite yet.
Yeah, you can't. Through the mountain, up and down, you've got to be just biting your time, but and getting the temperature back into those tires and just testing out what you're going to be able to do, how you're going to be able to do it, and where you're overtaking opportunities. Well, there are a couple of them. There's plenty of them. And Lucas Vieira, of course, the Brazilian driver, is got a bit of a comfortable gap. It looks like a bit of overtaken maybe occurring. The Camel Straight, I got a little bit confused. The Spa, it's a little bit different. The Camel Straight, it's Cajon Road Straight, that's what I mean. I should know because my Nissan Skyline R32 set the record on that one. Fastest lap at the moment does go to the man in P2. What can he do about it? Well, plenty of time, as you said, 25 minutes and change to go in this race.
And Richard Price around, Alvarez around, Krasik around, multiple cars around on the racetrack right now. What happened? It looked like Rich Price had an issue that might have caused all of that ruckus.
Yeah, this is into the final corner as well.
Oh, he just gets on the gas a little too much.
Corner. Yeah, right. And that's actually tagged a few more people.
Right out in
I
front
think
of
that was
Krasik
Antonio.
and Alvarez. Yeah, so it looks like Alvarez is currently out of the race now. Tough break for Alvarez. He made a mistake, and he was trying to come back from it. He didn't look like he had much damage, and Price came out, and there was really nowhere for Krasik and Alvarez to go. So those two, Krasik's still on track. He's going to try to salvage some points, but Alvarez looks like he is in the pits trying to get that car fixed up, and he's going to lose a couple laps there. Meanwhile, the rest of the field mostly spread out. We have a little kind of three-way battle going for 8th, 9th, and 10th. And it looks like even 7th up there with Solorzano.
It's an unusual place to lose it too, Rob. I never see not that many people lose it out of Murray's Corner right there. That's probably one of the first times I've ever seen that. And that's the final corner, of course, down in the pit straight. Pit entrance is a little bit before that one. Yeah, it's very, very unusual to get loud and blood pedal coming out of the corner. But everything was a surprise when it comes to Bathurst, the mountain. You want to conquer it. I think too much changing at the top of the timesheets. Well, Vera and Sietz is pretty close. And then there's a 4-second gap down the road to the AMs of Richard Hearn is doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Ahead of his class.
Hearn has got some speed. He's actually clocked 4 miles an hour faster than Sights on that last lap. Hearn really moving, and he's doing really well. He's way out in front of the Adams Point Championship. He's got 125 points, and the second place driver has 81. Hearn doing a fantastic job right now. I have no doubt that we probably will see him in the Pro Series next season, which would be really cool to see, because he's up here battling with Vieira and Sights, only still a few seconds back, but so is everybody else. So he's still battling up here with these pro guys, and it's nice to see him mix it up. Solorzano had a great run last week and took the AMs, and now look at him. He's out here. He's leading the pack that's battling there behind him. Currently in 7th place. Oh, and who's that going off? Was that Reagan? Maybe Graybill? You see car going off the track there.
If you don't mind switching from the gap to the interval, that's just depending on how you like to have it. I kind of like the intervals because you can see the interval times between the drivers. The gaps the overall. There you go. I'm there. You can kind of see those really close battles. Thank you very much, Rob. That's just for me. I'm very... Yeah, you can see the battle obviously for P1, P2. You can see the battle for P3, P4. You can see the battle for P7 and P8 as well, which is very close. You might have to go to that one. Because is that Mokana there? Yes, it is. One. Getting it done for the team Radline. Maybe. Going to make it stick. Where is he currently on track? Well, they are making their way all the way through. I think, just trying to catch up where they are at the moment. That's, yeah. That's down to the final couple of corners. I think that was overtake during the chase.
Yep, they're coming across the start-finish line right now. 4 laps completed.
Yeah, I want to go to the battle of the leaders as well too, mate, because I tell you what, Science should be making a run. And he's going to be making a run because you're going to be making it all the way up the mountain straight into the quarry bend right here. And climbing. The cutting's coming up the top there. That's why it's a cutting. Griffin Mound. He has to tuck in behind because there's not much overtaking around here. Rad Park climbing up the hill. It's going to be Fowler Stern, mate. It's almost like the council section in Baku. I don't think you can go side by side through. It is possible. And then you're going to go down the hill right now, riding on board perfectly. We're on board with Craig. You can see the sensation of speed here. It is the walls, the barriers, it's the mountain, it's New South Wales, it's Australia, and down into the dipper, the skyline, the S's. This is where, as you were talking about before, blind corners. Look at this. Hug the wall, hug the apron like your favorite grandma, and keep climbing down the hill there. Forest Elbow, maybe, if you're close enough, will be a great exit right here, and then go all the way down Conrad Straight, flat to the metal, pedal to the metal, but not quite yet. But what a sensation of speed here.
And yeah, Vieira doing a fantastic job. Sights pulling right up to his rear end. Vieira holding that inside line, making Sights really work for it. And Sights has 20 more minutes left to go. We're a third of the way through the race. And these two battling up front, just 6 seconds ahead of everybody. These two are in their own race. They just have to make sure that they keep each other honest, and that's exactly what they're doing. We have another fairly close battle between Solorzano and Christopher Reagan. Those two, Solorzano's really trying to move back up and actually get past Reagan for that second place in the AM. So those two battling fairly closely, and Moncada and Zuccarelli trying to go after each other as well. So a few battles further back, the leaders starting to gap each other a little bit. Vieira 0.6 of a second over top of Sights at the moment, and it looks like Reagan might be making a move on Moncada.
Yeah, this is where you probably can. Now, as an Australian, you know, I will do that up the hill here right now. Obviously, massive overtaking opportunities in the quarry bend, but if you don't get it down there, the cutting, that's also risky in this big scenario. As much as an Aussie, as much as I love Bathurst, my friend, it is such a difficult track to overtake. You don't need to worry about that with Vieira and Science, mate, because they're at the moment thinking about Albert Park down in Melbourne. That's how far they are down the road, and that's the next state over. But yes, this is a great grueling track. As in the chat there was going to be a real stress test for Lucas and so forth. Thank you very much. I'll get through that chat in a second because I'm going to take my eyes off the screen. But it's, Rob, yeah, mate, there's not a lot of overtaking opportunities. So if you line yourself up and get ready for it, well, you have to be right on the money and perfect. Otherwise, you're going to have to sit around there for a few more laps to line it up all over again.
We've got a nice little battle heating up right here. Stephen Place catching up to Richard Hearn. This is going to be a battle for P3. Can Place make a move at the bottom of the hill? He's right there on his tail. Hearn really doing a fantastic job on the start of this race, getting by, but Place really wants that spot back as they come across the start-finish line.
Yeah, and the problem is right now he's going to come into Hell's Corner. And that's because A, it can either be heaven or hell for you if you get it right. This is where an overtaking opportunity will come up to the quarry bend. But you have to be tucked up the gearbox. You really have to be about 1/10 or 2/10 to even be bold and brave to do it. And more than anything, you try to force your opponent that's ahead of you, which is Hearn in this point, into a mistake and then get him in the cutting. And the cutting is coming up right here as they climb up the top of the hill. It's a horseshoe bend. It's a very, very tricky corner. It's not just like a typical hairpin. It's tight, it's twisty, and you can see the different racing lines in there. And once again, Stephen Place now can't do anything. He's have to follow him all the way around and hope Hearns makes a mistake. But Hearns is so close to Hearn. If Hearn does tap the wall, aka the walls tap the driver, then he could also be involved in this incident.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. We had a little technical issue, but we are back with oh, and there goes.
There it is.
No, Hearn loses it right in front of Place. Place avoids it, but Hearn now without a rear wing, which is going to put him at an extreme disadvantage. I think he's going to have to come into the pit lane to get that car fixed. He is not going to be able to make that car move around this mountain. That wing creates a lot of downforce for that little car.
But also smack into the wall. And it was just exactly what I said on cue, wasn't it? That's all you could do as a driver behind. You force the driver up the road into a mistake. And that's exactly what happened. He was very, very lucky, I'd have to say, Hearn. He did drop a couple of places there, but very, very lucky not to be completely involved in that one. I mean, Hearn, sorry, it was Stephen Place that was lucky to get by that one. He's up in a P3 at the moment. Battle for the lead still remains with about 3/10, and the battle for P7 and P8.
And Seitz really starting to put the pressure down. He got a little loose coming out of that corner. That rear end almost came around on him. So maybe Seitz getting desperate, knowing they're both tied in the points. And there goes Hearn. He is going to go down the pit lane and go to the service.
And I'm reading that chat up there from the CJ Racing Network. The weekly Hearn problem is that he's blowing away the rest of AM. Unfortunately, he's blowing away the rear wing of his car. So gets a couple of rolls of duct tape out at the moment, mate. Fix that one up. He was definitely driving outside his class for sure. But those walls take no prisoners here in Bathurst.
No, and they are so close, and it only takes that one little bit. It looked like he hit that curb, and he hit the curb just a little too much, and it upset the car and went him through. And it looks like, apart from our leader battle, we do have a nice little battle here. Christopher Reagan still trying to get by Juan Moncada. They are getting very, very close.
Now, give you an overtaking opportunities because in Bathurst, because as an Australian, you know, we kind of grow up at school learning this track. No, we don't really. It's almost like eating Vegemite in Australia. It's like Bathurst, Vegemite, Melbourne Cup, Australia, Kangaroos.
Oh, and we got a battle for the lead. Greg Seitz making a move to the outside. Not going to be able to do it. Vieira holds him off. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we saw that battle, that run coming. Such a run from Seitz. Stepped away from the battle for 1 second and missed it.
Yeah, because the Conrad straight gives you so much speed, and the chase isn't overtaking opportunities, but he's had to sit behind again. He's clearly fastest. He has the fastest lap signs, but where did he overtake? He tried it, and brilliantly defended currently at the moment for the man in P1.
Reagan trying the same move on Moncada. Not going to be able to happen, but that's now going to bring Salarzano into the picture, and Salarzano's bringing Graybill right along with him with that waft.
I want to see how they go if you can keep an eye on the P8 machine as well, climbing up the mountain, because I want to see if they're bold and brave to take that one into Quarry Bend. And we'll get this up the road. We could be seeing two cars in the Quarry Bend and go and be exactly. Manuel's got the bird's eye view here. The Colombian driver can see what's going to happen. Don't go too close, Manuel, because they do tap each other. You could be slicing on by two cars just like that. Here we go. Up into the cutting. Overtaking opportunity could be here, but then you got to tie it in, and it's fast in, exit out. And now Manuel just has to follow him down here. You really just have to follow him down, and then just pray that somebody's not facing in the wrong direction, because there's blind corners here as you go down to the dipper.
And it looks like he's giving him a little space. Might be getting a little worried. Is Seitz going to possibly take
Yeah,
Vieira?
well, you know what's coming up, don't you? The chase. Exactly where the obvious opportunity is going to try it again.
Down to the inside this time. Vieira's going to take the lead. Or sorry, Seitz is going to take the lead from Vieira. What a brilliant move. But Vieira all over his tail. Going to try to take it back.
Yeah, it's going to be tight and tough.
Seitz is like, no, you're not taking this inside.
No,
and he's going to defend brilliantly. Move Seitz up to P1 and Vieira right on his tail behind. It looks like Sarzano just got by Graybill. They're having a small little battle there as well in the back in the AMs. Battling for the top three. Hearn is now back, so Reagan just in front of them is in the lead. So these guys are really battling for a win. Graybill really wants to get up there into P2 so that he can go and battle with Reagan. He's got a faster lap time than Reagan and Solorzano. So Graybill, watch out for him. He might be able to take the win in the M's if he can get by Solorzano. Meanwhile, still up front, Vieira all over Seitz's tail. Gonna give him everything he's got, put all the pressure on he can. It's a very tough, tight track, so a little pressure goes a really long way in the mountain.
It does. Rob, if you don't mind going on board right now, if we can, with Vieira, because I want to see how Lucas is going to do this from his perspective, what he has, where's his braking points. All he's seeing is a car, all he's seeing is corners, all he's seeing is turns. And look at that wall. Oh, almost slapped into it. Now he's going to get the pedal to the metal. He's coming around the final couple of corners of the dipper and then get the power down Forest Elbow. Look at the different racing lines. Probably compromise him a little bit of exit speed. Now he is. Now it's Conroe Straight. This is flat, flat, flat all the way.
But did he do that to try to get a waft and get that massive run? Because here he comes. He's getting right behind him. Does he have enough time to get there? No, I think that corner cost him too much time.
He's sending. Oh no, he's not sending.
Oh, and he's gonna send it. Oh, he thinks twice about it. He's very smart move by Vieira. 10.5 minutes left to go here in round number 4, and what a brilliant race we've got. We've got another little battle heating up in the back. Graybill still trying to get by Solorzano, and right in front of him, Reagan trying to get by Moncada as well. 3 very distinct battles on the track. And Graybill finally gets by Solorzano, so he's going to take second place. And Vieira trying to make a run. Seitz blocks.
Yeah, this is interesting. Where you going to do it up here in the mountain again? I think he's going to be just. I think just play clever here for the On Wheels TV racing team. Just tuck in, tuck in, tuck in. And I'm expecting he's going to go for it in the chase. Maybe again. But he's exit out of the Forest Elbow before you get out Conroe Straight will hurt him a little bit there. You have to be within at least 2 to 3 tenths exiting the Forest Elbow to make a run into the chase. So that'll be the key. You can lose a little bit of time here, as you can see. He's dropped about half a second. That's fine, because it's tricky through here anyway, so not too much to worry about. But the Forest Elbow coming up, as you can see, that's the kink right there on the track map. Once again, is a tap in the wall, so yes, he should be able to get a fantastic exit speed down Conroe Straight here. Might have him before. Oh no, he's lost it. Oh, this is going to continue and continue and continue. Not in the Hell's Corners, guys. Maybe in the Hell's Corner. No. Here we go. And a repeat and repeat and repeat, climbing your way up again. Overtaking opportunity is here. Is here. If you're bold and brave, you're going to go off. On the racing line right now is Greg. And it looks like the extra speed, I think, I'm not quite sure if someone's got a little bit of damage before early. Someone was tapping the wall. And just to verify with you, Rob, is there a mandatory pit stop or not? Because are they here? These leaders have not made a pit stop yet. No. Okay. Look. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's going for it here. No, that's good. I don't really overtaking opportunities there, and there is in the fence. I was about to say, I don't think this. I've seen V8 supercars already multiple times, and what has just happened? Lucas, a little bold and brave, my friend. A little bold and brave on that one. It's not done very often. And that may have very much compromised any chance of winning this race right now, because look how close they were. And it's a 2-second gap right now, Rob. You mentioned how they are tied in points in this championship. Is your mic working, Rob? Just to confirm, somebody will say something about that. I'll listen to that one second. Keep going.
Yeah, 205 points for the season. So we're halfway through. There's 6 races on the season. We're in round 4. So the pressure is on both of them. Both of them know they have to finish in front of the other, or they're going to have some work to do in the last 2 races. And I think the pressure really just got to Vieira. Seitz is doing a great job, caught up to him. Vieira had the fastest lap in qualifying, and Seitz just caught up past him. Vieira got by, and Seitz is like, no, I'm going to take the front. And he goes past, and they just played back and forth. And I think it was a battle of who's going to crack first. And I think in this instance, I believe, who was that we interviewed last week, said that when Seitz is trying to pass Vieira, that's when he tends to spin out. So I think the pressure just might have gotten to Lucas just a little bit. And he made one little tiny mistake, and that's all it takes here at Bathurst. But on the bright side, Seitz, we have 4 minutes left to go, and there's lap traffic coming. Might be able to hold him up, might cause a problem, but I believe Vieira is far enough back now that Seitz is going to have to make a mistake in order for Vieira to catch back up to him in the time allotted left in this race.
All right, Rob, thank you very much. Your microphone's all good. But the battle, as you score on at the moment, there 9 places gained there from Juvorian for the Rust Racing team. If I butcher your name, I do apologize, but you are very tight on the back there. That will be the one brewing. Now, if you are aware, if you did get the memo, my friend, well, the chase is the overtaken opportunity. If you look at that track map, that is the little kink after the long Conrad straight. Now, I did not suggest any overtaking around up and down the mountain here before, because you can talk to Vieira about that one, because I don't see many overtaking opportunities from that. And I think Vieira, I'm going to have to let you know, my friend, when you do visit the mountain here in Australia, I'll tell you what, you're really going to be risking it for the biscuit when those overtaking opportunities, and that's what happened when he had a bit of a tank slap in the wall. Climbing down the mountain right now is the man you're on board with. Now, once again, coming out of the Forest Elbow, which is that kink right here, right now. Get a good exit speed. You will only be about 3/10 down the Conrod straight. Maybe take an opportunity into the chase, but then again, once again, we got, as you mentioned, my friend, we have traffic coming up soon.
Yeah, and there's not too much time left in here. If he wants to make a move and get into that top 3, he's gonna have to do it now. But you really gotta know, this is Stephen Place. He has been battling up. He was battling with Hearn really, really hard. So I mean, he is a tough competitor. And look at what he did to avoid when Hearn spun out in front of him.
And keep it on Christopher Reagan at the moment there for a different class. He's making a run, I believe, on P6 and P5. There it is, side by side. Good camera work. And that's out of that's into the final corner before they go down the straightaway. It's start another lap.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to take that position from Zuccarelli just yet. But a minute 45 left here, and Moncada is coming back from way back in the field when we had that issue. So
he's going for it. He's going for it, and this is an overtaken opportunity you can get.
And he holds it brilliantly on the inside. Doesn't overdrive the corner, and that's gonna open up the door right behind him. So Zuccarelli now's got pressure from behind as well.
Yeah, now it's surviving the rest of the mountain coming down. I want to see how to handle the chase, because those overtaken opportunities now, they're about within a second of each other, 5, 6, and 7. Reagan has to really, really hold on at the moment, Christopher, to see if he can defend. There is a lap car, I believe, coming up a little bit further. I'm not quite sure, but here we go. They're going to go down into the dip up. Oh, so much fun when you can get that one right, mate, and it's painful when you get it all wrong.
So here we are, 30 seconds left.
He's gone wrong. He's pinned it into the fence. He got too much power out of the forehead, out of the elbow, and that is pain for Diego.
Oh, no. Well,
just like that, mate. The mountain will punish you in Mount Panorama, my friend.
Oh,
it is so punishing. It's one corner, isn't it? Too much on the loud pedal. That car just disagrees and in the fence.
Well, there it is. Time is up in the race. Lap number 16. Here we are. Sights in the lead. Vieira's got the gap down to 1 second. Can he catch him? It's almost a 2-minute lap. And these guys just started, so can he catch him, or is Sights going to take this victory here? Everybody else around the field fairly spread out.
Well, I'll tell you what, real quick there, Rob. I was racing a little bit earlier on this week, and it was the penultimate corner when the leader was leading by a couple of seconds and made a mistake. So anything is possible. And Lucas does not have to give up, but all Craig at the moment there could probably just hold off a little bit on the pedal there. Don't push it as hard as what you would have to be, because you have a 1 second gap, and you only have basically a couple miles to go, and that checker flag will be yours. Barney will be waiting for you, as long as you can handle just a few more corners.
And he's far enough away that even if Vieira can catch a little bit of a waft from Sights, it's not going to be able to do anything to make it in the last corner here. So I believe Sights, as long as he keeps it on the track, he's going to be looking good. One more corner for Greg Sights, and he's going to make it 2 in a row. Checker flag in the air. He's going to bring it home for the Russ Racing team. Lucas Vieira going to take home second. And Horvanes Javorgian, the other Russ Racing team, I'm pretty sure with this finish, that's going to bring them back up to the top in the constructor standings, coming home third place on the podium. Stephen Place going to be coming home fourth position from Teed Radline. And Christopher Reagan is going to take home the win in the AMS division and he's going to take home 5th place on the scoreboard. What a race today, man. We had not too many, we had a couple kind of crashes. Stuff kind of happened. But we didn't see anything super crazy. It was a really awesome race between these two, between all of these drivers battling side by side with each other, making these moves down these long straights. Who would you say the driver of the day's got to be?
Ooh, well, if I can pronounce the man's name there, Jovo Gajorian, I think it is, for the Rust Racing. Then again, he's gained 10 positions. If you're going gains, he's gained 10 positions. So you have to say in P3, a little bit of a loneliest race. But, I'm really going to have to give it the driver of the day split between both Greg and Lucas, because they were wheel-to-wheel racing for the majority of the race. And that's not an easy thing to do in Bathurst. And they exchange postcards a couple of times around here in the mountain. So, yeah, driver of the day would have to go to both of them. But then if you have to top it, I have to say, from Craig to holding on there, as he's just going to plant it straight in the wall there, and it's a celebration for the 74 car.
And there it is. We'll take a look at your race results here from Bathurst. Round 4 live on JP Broadcasting. Once again, thanks for coming out. Greg Seitz and Lucas Vieira putting on a fantastic show. But in the end, Greg Seitz coming out the winner by 1 second over Lucas Vieira from one little mistake in 30 minutes. Horvana Shavorgian coming in 3rd place in that number 13 machine, 17 seconds behind our leaders. So those two really putting on a clinic, racing side by side and pulling away from the field by that much. That's pretty impressive by those two. Stephen Place coming home 4th. Christopher Reagan coming home 1st with the AMs. He's going to come 5th overall. Juan Moncada, Manuel Solorzano, Diego Zuccarelli, Richard Hearn, and Charles Krasik going to round out your top 10 here in Bathurst.
It could have been a lot worse. Trust me. Bathurst, it has a high attrition rate of drivers. So it could easily, if somebody just completely loses it in a dipper and is facing sideways and everybody flying over the mountain there, smashes into them, it could have been 10 times worse. But you have to say, a very, very great drive for most not all the drivers here this evening.
And the On Wheels TV race team had a tough day today. Mateus Marias finished 9 laps down in 15th place. So I'm pretty sure that's going to put the Rust Racing team back up on top for your constructor standings. And that is going to put Greg Seitz out in front of Lucas Vieira, at least for now, in the driver's points in the pros, with Richard Hearn falling down to 9th and actually after that spin recovering to a P3 in the AMs, is going to do a fairly decent job at holding on to his lead. But too many more issues like this and falling a little further down, and Hearn could be in trouble from the rest of the drivers in that AMs division.
And I think right now, after that exciting race, Rob, we have been ready for some chats with some of the drivers as well. And I think they're even eager to wait to chat to us, and why not? And everybody in the chat, thank you very much for supporting and following the Radical World Series there for the Americas Pro and AM Champion, round 4 of Bathurst. Please hit a nice little thumbs up there and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to support Mr. Rob's fantastic work, James's fantastic work, and of course the drivers and gladiators that just survived the mountain in Bathurst.
Yeah, and it looks like we have one of those two drivers we watch battle up front all day long. P2, Lucas Vieira joins us in the booth. Lucas, what an up and down race that you guys had today. What was going through your mind when you saw Seitz just creeping up in your mirror, creeping up, and then the battle back and forth between you two was absolutely legendary. Take us through your race.
Hey Robbie, hey Dean. That was really tough. I knew that even if I have a good quality, this track is amazing tow. And doesn't matter what you do much if you unless you're extremely good in the mountain. I know sites it is true. You're not gonna open a gap too much. I have sometimes I open like a 1 second a margin and I make a few mistakes after and I lose all the margin I opened during the top of the mountain. But it was best race I ever have in a while. It's amazing. It was really tough. I know I can go side by side with Greg. There was unfortunately touch. I didn't blame him. I try a move. I didn't go right. Luckily I recovered very well. Congrats for sites. I think there's an amazing race. That's why we're here. It's an amazing race that we have here.
You were going side by side, my friend, through places I've never seen cars go side by side through the mountain. So, explain what the risk it for the biscuit in that point, because you're so close enough, you probably would have gone through the chase again. But climbing up through the mountain, it's just the excitement, the energy, the adrenaline. Is that the reason why you were just making a great run there?
Yeah, I love this track. I know I've been racing several times in the past back on SR8. I know some places that we can share side by side some spots, and others we know that we can go, but it's too risky. It's more risky to end the race, so you have to pick your battles, pick the right spots. And I know I know if I go side by side with two sides, he will be extremely fair, but I don't want to risk. I try to use the right spots to avoid an incident later in the race.
So now tell us, we got two races left here in the season. Do you like your chances at the next two races here? Because we got 4 more races to go. We got the Red Bull Ring coming up, Oulton Park, Silverstone, and Brands Hatch. What do you take from hitting this halfway point in the season and moving forward, knowing that you've got a little bit of a battle on your hands? You've kept sites right there with you. I believe both of you took 2 wins here now in the season. So what do you have to do to take it up the next notch with Sites being such a fierce competitor, and he doesn't make very many mistakes?
Yeah, it's tough. The next track, Red Bull Ring, doesn't like him. Not in our racing because there's too many off tracks, too many slowdowns, and it's so easy to make a mistake, especially following someone in his car. I have to practice to see how it goes. I know Greg is extremely fast there. Back on SR8, almost no one touches him in this track. He saw how it goes, but we still have plenty of races to go. We didn't have a gap too narrow. We have a gap between the championship, but it is not too long. So I think we have a chance yet. Let's see how it goes. I'm not really worried about it.
And Lucas, you qualifying kind of, to me, let you down a little bit. I mean, you gained 6 positions in this race, which is fantastic. But what was the problem with your qualifying?
He qualified on the pole.
Sorry?
He qualified on the pole.
I joined later. My apologies. Sorry, my apologies, Lucas. Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
Oops, my bad. Anyway, don't worry about
actually,
that one. Ignore that. Yeah.
I have some problems with my computer. I think it's network issue because close the session and I have to join and I have only 2 laps to go. So I have to do what I can on the second lap because I didn't have time enough to do the third and the fourth lap.
Well, you put a brilliant time down. You set yourself in a great position for the race in a track that you really have a difficult time getting past somebody by. You have very limited passing opportunities, and if someone takes the preferred line, we've seen trying to take the outside doesn't really do much. So you set yourself in a good position for track position. Had a great battle with Greg Seitz up front, and P2 to mark halfway through the season is not too bad. Congratulations, Lucas. Anybody that you want to thank for this race today?
For you guys, for this amazing broadcast, for Greg especially for accepting my invite to be on the league, and for everyone who is watching. And I'd like to enjoy this occasion to encourage everyone who's watching to try this league next season, because if you drive here, you can drive in any official races. It's much better because the longest stint. So I want to encourage everyone to try for next season.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Lucas Vieira, your P2 finisher here for round 4 at Bathurst. And now we've got the man of the hour. Greg, you chased Vieira down. You battled hard side by side. There was a little bit of contact here and there, all just driving close. What kind of battle was that for you today?
I would say one word: intense. It was a really intense battle with Lucas. He he raced me pretty fair, and hopefully I raced him pretty fair as well. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. You know, when you get behind somebody on the mountain, it gets a little bit you get a little bit of understeer because you lose that arrow on the front of the car, and so. I was just trying to kind of stay close enough that I could make a good run out of the elbow, and then get him on the straight. And I was able to, and then I guess you saw the incident. I don't know what, if anything, I could have done differently. I was a little bit, I think I was a little bit wide going into that turn, but he kind of turned in and made some contact. And but yeah, I think it was just mostly a racing incident there. Hopefully he sees it the same way.
Yeah, it's just a very tight track here, and you really had some speed. What does it really take to get around a track here? Half of the track seems blind. Half of the track, you're inches away from the wall. What do you have to do at a track like this to make sure that over a 30-minute race with no cautions, no really any way to catch your breath? What do you got to do to stay that fast and that consistent?
Practice helps a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of blind turns, and you just have to make sure that you know your markers. It's a little bit different again when you're following somebody. So I did some official races this week, and I followed people so I could kind of get a sense of what it would be like. It's a little easier out front. But yeah, it's really all about just kind of hitting those marks, and then trail breaking in and getting the car to turn are kind of the big keys, and then you can kind of just go inches from the wall. But you just have to kind of trust that the car is going to do what you expect it to do.
All right, well, that shows a lot there, Greg. You had an incredible run today. You qualified P2. Wasn't the greatest qualifying lap. We thought you had it until Vieira pulled almost a half a second over top of you, but then you put the fastest lap down in the race. You got anybody you want to thank for this win? I believe this is your second win now. No, yeah, second, 2 in a row. Anyone you want to thank for it?
Yeah, actually, it's my third win. But yeah, I want to thank Lucas for some great racing. You guys for putting on the broadcast, the league for kind of sponsoring everything, and my partner Kate, as well as my team Rust Racing. Looks like Hovans did a great job today as well.
Yeah, I believe with his finish, you guys are going to be on top of the constructor standings one more time. So you got to feel pretty good about that. That is your winner there, Greg Seitz. Congratulations on another win here, and we look forward to seeing you next week when we go over to the Red Bull Ring. It's going to be a track. I heard that you're pretty good at this track. Are you feeling pretty good about the Red Bull Ring?
Yeah, I think so. I've always done pretty well there. So, yeah, looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And last question to that one. Are the hills alive with the sound of Greg Seitz music? You get the reference, hopefully, right?
Yes,
to Austria and Spielberg. There you go.
Of course.
So are they going to be alive to the sound of your engine?
I think so. I hope so.
All right. Excellent. Good on you, mate. GG's.
Right,
Congratulations.
See ya.
All right, there you have it. Your race winner, Greg Seitz. You heard it from the man. 3 wins now this season. And he's now taken the championship lead. So Vieira is going to have a little bit of work to do. Can Vieira handle it? We will see next week. February 2nd, we will be going over to the Red Bull Ring and watching one more fabulous race with these drivers. But I believe that is going to call it for us here at JP Broadcasting. Once again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We have a bunch of live streams, a bunch of awesome racing going on throughout the week. So make sure you hit that notification bell and select all notifications so that you get a notification every time we go live. And once again, thanks for coming out, Biggles. Thanks for joining me in the booth one more time. And y'all have a great night.